Hello and welcome to Faces of the Valley. I'm Harris Nussbaum. Our guest today is a woman who was selected for 4th District Woman of the Year. She's an outstanding human being, a wonderful woman, and I think you'll love to get to know her. Thank you for being our guest. Liz, thank you so much for being on the show. I've known you for a couple of years now.
Just a couple.
And I've always known you just to be the most delightful, smiling, just warm person. And I mean, what you've done, you are involved in so many things, so many different projects in this community. And, there were just a few comments that I just grabbed off, 1 in a million. That was one comment.
Oh, my gosh.
Wonderful disposition. That was another one. A pillar in society. She brings hope and inspiration to all of us, and she's down to earth, which is...
Wow.
I mean,
where did you get these?
Yeah, well, these are things that are online.
Wow.
And I can get... there's hundreds of others, so I could go on and on and on and on and on. But before, we, talk about some of the things that you've been involved in and why you were selected Woman of the Year, which is, and I know there are a lot of people deserving.
There are so many.
However, when you look at all you've done, you are, without a doubt, right at the top. You are the top.
It's such a humbling experience to be able to give back to community you love. It really is.
But
and then to get recognized on top of it, it's like
you always have done it. I mean, I remember from high school, you were involved and got, you help people.
Thank you.
But let's start off by finding out about you. Who are you? Tell us about you growing up. Where are you? Where did you grow up? And,
thanks for asking, because I'm really proud of my family history. Yeah. I'm 4th generation, Napa County, Napa.
You just came here, right?
Just got here a couple decades ago. My great-great-grandfather, Matthias Vandeleur, settled in Napa in the 1870s with his wife, Johanna. And he was...
Johanna. My wife's name is Johanna.
It is Johanna.
Right.
And I just learned today that Sherry's your daughter-in-law, a stepdaughter. Right. So anyway, so Matthias and Johanna settled here in the 1870s and settled in Yountville. And he was a Mason. He helped with the Stag's Leap home, the original Stag's Leap home, the Catholic Church in St. Helena, the hat building. He helped with like the foundation of the hat building. So when you step on that big kind of foundation outside, I look at those stones, I think about him. And so he did a lot of that. He was a business owner. He had a business called the White House in Yountville. It was a saloon and inn, and it got burned down at later on in the early 1900s. And he actually also became a county supervisor. So
what year was that? Do you remember?
From 1901 to 1904.
Wow.
And there's a picture of him. Diane Dillon did this whole book, this whole research on every single county supervisor that we've had in history here in Napa. And so she has, my great-great-grandfather, Matthias, standing next to his, I think it's a horse, not a mule. I was thinking it was a mule. His horse next to the old family home in Yountville.
Oh, my God.
So, he was actually also superintendent of schools for Yountville Elementary and also for Salvador Elementary.
Were you born in Yountville? Or?
I was born in Napa. I was born in Napa. My dad was raised in Yountville. He was born in San Francisco, but raised in Yountville. And he lived in Matthias's home with his family. He's the oldest of 4. So it was his mother, Martha Vandeleur, not to be confused with her aunt, Martha Vandeleur. It gets a little confusing. We have a couple of Martha Vandeleur. My great-great-aunt is really significant, too. I mean, in Napa County. So she was a principal for Yountville.
What year? Do you remember approximately?
Gosh, I don't remember, but it was a little bit before my time, but people remember her, and I guess she was sort of tough. She was a little tough because they're like, oh, Martha Vandeleur, we were all scared of her.
We're not going to mess with that.
We're not messing with Martha, Mrs. Vandeleur, Miss Vandeleur.
Family, right?
Yeah, right. So so then she was principal at Salvador Elementary, and then she retired there. Actually, the next elementary school that was going to be built, which is now the Vintage Farm School, so the school In the heart of Yountville, just past Bouchon, you'll see sort of a wedged park, and that was the property, that was a site of our former volunteer fire department. And so Martha, one of the things that she did is that she planted a rose garden. I'm going to get emotional. She planted a rose garden, and she kept that rose garden up for the volunteer firefighters for her whole life. And so there's still one rose bush, standing rose bush. It's like a pink carnation climbing rose bush that I'm sure is in bloom right now. That's 100 years old.
Do you go tend it?
I don't, but I go visit. I go visit. I walk through the park, and so the park is named Martha Vandeleur Park. And my father had the opportunity, who's very involved in Yountville and Yountville history, to help with the design of the park. So if you go in there, you'll see a lot of rose bushes in there, and that are surrounding a fountain that has a beautiful bronzed volunteer fireman, like ready to go, on the run. So it's so special to have that such family history here and to be connected to that.
Your father also continued to at the cemetery. He's for 50 years.
Over 50 years now.
He has taken care of it. And,
yes.
Oh my gosh.
So what happened was in 1965, the year I was born, prior to my birth, in January, his father passed away of colon cancer at the hospital at Queen of the Valley. And his mother was in a fatal accident on Highway 29 in Lincoln 3.5 months later. And
so much at one time.
So much at one time. My dad was really young. He was 24, I believe, and he was married to my mother. My older sister was about 4 or 5, and he was the oldest of 3 brothers. And he was really the guardian. He became guardian. His youngest brother, Mike, was 12 at the time. So my dad really bared the responsibility of taking care of his parents and laying to rest near the Vandeleur site in the Yountville Cemetery, the George Yount Pioneer Cemetery on the east side. And he wanted to be sure the cemetery was being taken care of because it was all volunteer. And it needed a little TLC, though it was being well managed actually by a great cousin, Jack Forrester. We're related to Jack and Marion Forrester, if you know the Forrester history. And so he got on the board of the Yountville Cemetery Association in 65, and then was secretary for a couple of years, and has been president ever since 67.
Oh my God, what a history!
It's amazing.
And he's still doing it.
He's still doing it.
And you volunteer as your secretary of the...
I'm secretary now.
Okay.
Yeah, for the last 4 years. Well, so grew up with it. It's a very special place.
You need to write a book. You really need to write a book.
Okay.
Seriously,
It's really
we'll sit
special.
down and we'll talk about it. Okay.
All right.
This history can't get lost. Okay.
Thank
you have to save that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about you growing up as well. You went to elementary.
I went to Salvador.
I
went to Salvador and Redwood, and then Vintage.
Vintage High School.
Vintage High School, where I met you.
You were so great. You were so
gosh.
wonderful there.
Thank you. Okay, so Harris, I know we hear this all the time, but you really were my favorite teacher.
Oh, thank you.
You, Mr. Roper. I remember Mr. Roper in 6th grade, you in high school, and I love all my teachers. I don't want to, but there was something special about you, Harris, that really it touched my heart. And I think it really modeled an example of kindness and compassion and looking at the world through that lens. So it really touched me, really inspired me.
You had it already because, look at all that you've done. Let's take a look at some of the projects that you've been involved in. You were selected Woman of the Year, not just because you are good looking and beautiful and beautiful inside. But
thank you.
You weren't just selected for your good looks, okay? You were selected because of your good deeds and your good things. Let's talk about some of the things that you were involved in. One is, shall we start with the gifts?
The soldiers?
Yeah, what's that called?
Operation With Love from Home.
Right, okay.
And that was, it's interesting. I didn't understand my own family history when it came to military. I heard that my uncle was in the Army. I heard on my mother's side, my other uncle was in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam era. Didn't get deployed to Vietnam. He was in the Philippines. But I didn't get it, Harris. And what happened was that in 2007, a mother of a young Marine who still works at Queen of the Valley Hospital, her son was deployed at age 18 in Iraq, first time away from home at Christmas. And he's like, Mom, if I send you some dollars, which he's an enlisted private, he doesn't make any money. She had a sort of a humble job, at the hospital at the time, and single mom. And he's like, if I could send you a few dollars, would you send some extra things for my friends here so we can celebrate Christmas? Oh. And Lisa, the mother, Lisa Huntley, said, it just tugged on her heartstrings. So she shared that with Cammie Tim next to her Prayer for Peace board that we have in the hospital next to radiology in the main corridor. And she was telling Cammie about this, and Cammie said, the staff here at Queen of the Valley is really generous. Let's let them know maybe we can collect some donations and we can send some boxes to Mitch. So in 2 weeks' time, without any know-how of what they were doing, they had enough for 134 care packages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in 2008, because I was at the hospital for about 10 years inside the main doors, the lobby of the hospital.
I remember that?
Walking in and I know with you. Yes, with Renee DeRosa.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So in 2008, I was invited to join the community outreach team at the hospital. And that's when Cammie and Lisa came to me in that position and said, what do you think? Do you think that we can make this into a program the hospital could support it and we can invite the community to help? And that's when I learned about just how much it's needed for our service members of all branches who are far from home to receive these care packages.
Isn't your own son?
And then later on, my own son joined the Marine Corps and deployed 3 times.
Oh my!
So he was in the wing and he was a mechanic. So very thankful he wasn't in infantry like Mitch, but he was in Afghanistan twice and a small little territory called Djibouti, which is support for the Middle East efforts.
That's frightening, but
it is.
But
it was. But
thank goodness he's back.
He's back. He's now a veteran, and attending college and seeking the next chapter in his life. But
now,
that's how it started.
Your group sent, 13,000?
Over 13,000 care packages now.
Wow.
So we send on the average 2,000 care packages a year. We're all volunteer. It's all by donation. Queen of the Valley continues to support this. We received our 501c3.
Right.
So that's exciting. And so we collect donations and send out care packages year round. We have 2 big days in the year right before Christmas, and during June the next one is June 18th, I believe, in time for 4th of July, where we invite the community to fill care packages with us.
Okay.
And it's a celebration. It's a real celebration. It's all led by the heart, and everybody there from different backgrounds and different generations, all the same mission, just to give.
Let's talk about some of the other things too, because not to belittle that one.
Yes.
But there's so many things that you were involved in. You were involved in that. Tell us some more.
Oh gosh. Well, I did start. One program I want to talk about is Homefront. Homefront, I learned through what I learned about our service members who are coming back, especially the post 9/11 service members in Vietnam era, PTSD and post-traumatic stress, combat stress, traumatic brain injuries, very significant.
Yeah.
So what happens to the family when somebody comes home? They're not the same person, and they're often very they're closed up. They might be using alcohol or drugs, or just not managing their mental health well. So the Homefront program started that with partnership with Mentis, and so we offer that on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, and again, it's free. It's led by a psychologist, and it's at the Napa College from 6 to 7:30 on the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
Fabulous.
At the Community Resource Room. So I'm really proud of that. It's fairly new. Relay for Life on another spectrum.
You work so hard. Relay for Life is a program for supporting to eliminate cancer.
Yeah, the fight cancer.
It's a big job, and you work so hard putting that on.
I help with it. I don't put it jump. I definitely help.
I know you've
been involved for many, many years since the Olsons, were chairing it like 30 years ago. I've had a team or involved or been on the steering committee a couple years ago. I said, let's up this. Let's have a music festival. So all our local musicians really stepped up and provided some wonderful, entertainment. Because it really is, it's celebrating life and those who are in the fight and the survivors. It's remembering the many, many we've lost.
Now, describe what it is, how it works. Because I've done it a few years.
Okay.
I did it for a few years, and I haven't done it for a while, so I need to do it again. But,
please, save the date.
It's such a fun thing and fun event.
It is very uplifting. So it's the last Saturday in July every year in Napa. So this year it's on Saturday, July 29th at the Napa College. It's a 24-hour event. So it starts at 9 a.m., a beautiful opening ceremony. And then what happens is that we have teams. People have a team. Queen, we have 3 or 4 teams. And a team will relay the 24 hours and walk the track because cancer never sleeps. So they walk the track, taking turns during that 24 hours. Honestly, not everybody does it. But even if you show up for an hour, stop in, or if your team only walks for 12 hours, it's fine. But there are teams that are committed to the 24 hours. And it's all great, again, just to create awareness, to share education, to bring the community together, and it's free, which I love it. I love things that people can do at no cost. So
well, let's go. What are some other things you're doing?
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I know there's so many.
What's really exciting? So I'm on the Napa County Heart Safe Steering Committee. The Queen has a Queen Heart program, and this is going into the community and teaching folks hands-on CPR, getting AEDs out there, getting them registered. Napa City Fire just purchased an app that you can download where it'll ding you if somebody in your vicinity is having a crisis or called 911. It's touched into 911. And so getting those AEDs registered, teaching people how to use AEDs. So that's happening right now. I'm really excited. Napa has been certified as Heart Safe Community. American Canyon just has been. Calistoga is really close. We want to get St. Helena and Yountville next. And in November, we're going to have a free teen heart screening program where anybody can come. And
will it be at the Queen of the Valley?
No, it won't. It'll actually be at Vintage High. It'll be at Vintage High. They're going to host it. This is a project with the Via Heart Project, who we partner with at Queen of the Valley, and Queen is making this event possible with Via. So that's going to be great. So any teen can come through. They're going to get EKG, echocardiogram, be read by cardiologists. They're going to have other, stats, learn hands-on CPR.
When is that again?
That's on November 5th. So that's down the road. That's a new
Will you email
item.
me some of these dates?
I will.
Because end of July, is the last Saturday in July is
Relay for Life, July 29th. Yes.
Let's go to some others before we run out of time.
Well, the cemetery.
I know you're secretary of that.
So I'm really excited about that, and we've had several projects from the replacing the road, replacing some trees that were failing, working on a fence project. That front cyclone fence is over 50 years old, wanting to make that a beautiful handcrafted iron fence. So we'll be seeking community support on that.
And what other programs?
Oh my gosh. Well, Today's the Table. As you know, I just am here from the table.
You volunteer at the table.
And what I love that we do and this is the Queen of the Valley project I do through the hospital. They've sponsored this program since it started. When the flood happened is how the table started. And it's a free meal program Monday through Friday for anybody in the community. And we have a home-cooked meal by Chef Carol Sandoval, who is the shift lead RN at the hospital, who does this with Audrey Hargens, who's another RN at the hospital, and Bruce Borgman and his wife Sue, former director of the lab. Anyways, it's the Queen staff and community volunteers come together, and they make this homemade meal. Today it's going to be meatloaf, mashed potatoes, veggies, there's salad,
my
fruit.
Mouth is watering.
It is. I looked at it going, on a day like this, it's perfect. And then what I did before I got here is that I decorated the tables with really nice coverings, fresh flowers,
Really nice. nice.
I did. I did the little plastic eggs, filled them with candy to make it fun. You know, these are folks who have hard days, and I want them to come in and just be able to relax, have it be a happy place.
Right.
We have musicians now that come in and play live music.
Oh, boy.
So Jay's coming in to play live music today. So, you know.
I wish I had time to go through. There's this, just really briefly, just tell us some of the others that other projects you're involved in. Leadership Napa Valley.
Yes, Leadership Napa Valley. That was an amazing program. They're taking applications right now.
You got the award for leadership.
Yeah,
you know,
the Wagon Connect award. That was amazing. I was shocked.
Leadership was a fabulous program.
That was amazing. I recommend it highly.
What else?
Oh gosh, Harris, I'm on the spot.
But I know I can go because I've got a list of so many different things that you've done that it's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's go. Tell us what you do. I don't think
At the hospital?
Number one, I don't think you sleep because I mean you.
But I'm driven. I am driven.
It's more than driven.
And I'm determined.
You're determined,
as I'm told.
And you just I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on about the things that you're doing. It's I mean, there's so many people that I work with in this community who do so many things. But when I looked at how many things you do,
well, let's talk about this week. So today was, we covered the table. Tonight I'm on the commission, the Park and Rec Commission, by the way. Anybody look at the board, the commissions are available. They're looking for, residents to join the commission. So tonight's the commission dinner, which is really fun. But I'm on the Park and Rec Commission, which I've learned a lot. Truly honored that I was appointed to that, or the city council thought I was worthy of it. Let's see. And then this Saturday is Reach for the Stars, which is a wonderful event. I'm volunteering and attending that.
I'm modeling that.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've done it for
great. Yes, you have.
This is my 4th year.
Fantastic. So we know how inspiring that is.
Yeah, Reach for the Stars is a great.
It is. And they raise a lot of money for cancer wellness, which is a free program for anybody who's, either going through cancer treatment or finished with cancer treatment and needs to strengthen. It's really good. Body, mind, and soul. They have it all. It's free to anybody. You don't have to be queen, patient, anybody in the community.
Support Reach for the Stars.
Please buy a star. This is the last week to buy a star.
No. I mean, you could go on and on and on.
There's my calendar is busting full of wonderful things.
Because, I mean, this is just a few of the things you're involved in. And
Napa's amazing that way, Harris. It is. We have so many opportunities to get involved.
A lot of people don't realize how to do it or what to do or what they can do. How can some people, if they want to get involved, like, with any of the things that you've mentioned and more, how can they do it? What would you suggest?
Well, there is a nonprofit that does help with volunteers, and that's Center for Volunteers and Nonprofit Leadership. It's CVNL.
Is it part of Leadership Napa Valley?
It is not. It actually was funded and brought here by the Gasser Foundation. So it's the former Volunteer Services Center is now CVNL, Center for Volunteers Nonprofit Leadership, and they have a host of things that they have on their website that you can sign up as a volunteer for, or just sign up and say, I want to volunteer, and you'll get emails with different things that are happening, that different, events that we have year round, these amazing fundraisers that are seeking volunteers. So I think that's a great place to go for people who are looking. They can also call me.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They can call me. I mean, I put my number out there all the time.
What is your, tell us about your position. What is your position, and what do you do, and how could they get a hold of you if they want to get involved in one of your projects?
Thank you. So I work in the Community Outreach Department at Queen of the Valley Medical Center. And this is a department that specifically gives back to the vulnerable and at risk in our community. We have programs in the department, and then we work with community partners to fulfill the needs of the community. So we do everything from every 3 years. We do a community health needs assessment, which I get to participate in. We do this with the other hospitals, St. Helena and Kaiser and Public Health. We then do a strategic plan to make sure that we're putting our resources in the right places, and we're working with the community partners to meet the greatest needs of the community. We talked about Ted Ward's program with mental health and youth and how that's such a need.
You've supported that for years.
Yeah, we have. Program. Yeah, the hospital has.
This is wonderful.
So the Sisters of St. Joseph, they wanted to tithe 10% back to the community outreach. That's our focus. We focus on the tithing back to the community, and a lot of people don't realize the hospital does that, but they do. They make sure it's in everything we do is tithing back to the community. So I get to help facilitate that, which has given me opportunity and exposure to learn about other programs and get involved on my own. In addition, being able to do these great things on behalf of the medical center.
So they would call the Queen of the Valley Hospital.
They can call me. They can ask for either community outreach.
Can you say the number?
Yes. So my number, my office line is 707-251-2007.
Say that one more time.
707-251-2007. They can also call or text my cell, which is a great way if you want to reach me right away.
Okay.
And that's 707-363-0043.
Say that one more time.
707-363-0043, and they can call or text that number.
Okay.
And I'm happy. Find me on Facebook. I'm happy to talk about where your passion lies and where we can direct you to fulfill your passion.
Because there's so many things. They can donate money. They can
donate time.
They can
donate supplies for the troops. They can donate blood. I coordinate blood drives 3 times a year.
Put packages together.
The Napa County Holiday Assistance Program. That's a big one we haven't had a chance to talk about, but there's definitely need during the holidays. So there's things year round. We have, we're very blessed to live in this community. At the same time, 30% of our community live in poverty. So we want to remember that. We want to know that though we're fortunate, and we're fortunate that we can give back, so many people live paycheck to paycheck and live at poverty and live just in fear of not being able to keep a roof over their head.
And you also have children besides.
I do. Oh my gosh. Thank you. And a grandchild.
Oh God, and a grandchild. And how old are your children?
So Jessica's 28. She just finished her master's degree in architecture, and she's working for Paul Kelly here in Napa. So she's back home after being away forever.
Wow.
My son Stephen, who's the Marine, now veteran, just moved back last night.
Oh God.
So he's, we'll see how long he stays before he's off to his next adventure. And then my son, and he's 27, and then my son Zane is 22.
Oh God.
And he's here in Napa. So yeah.
You are such an inspiration to all of us.
Gosh.
You really are. I mean, do you have a vision, something that you haven't accomplished that you really want to do?
Do you know, I just got invited by Jenny Olson to go to Tanzania in 2018.
So you're going to go with
I'm
Jenny?
thinking that might be a really
Jenny is another person who does amazing things.
Yes.
But my gosh, how do you go? Both of you two are just unbelievable, both of you.
Harris, I don't know how much time we have, but this morning I sent a Facebook out to friends, and I told them it's going to be on this show. And I said, does anybody have messages that they want to share with Harris Nussbaum, with our favorite teacher? And I learned so much about you. Like, I didn't realize that you were involved in the Opera House, in the restoration and keeping it so it didn't get torn down. I had no idea. And again, Sherry Floor, being in the same family, and so much that you've done. So
this is your show, though.
I know.
And thank you so much, for. I just. I don't know. I don't know where to start because I'm out of time, and I want to. And there's things that, And here, this really quickly.
Okay.
Everyone in Napa Valley is inspired by leaders who wish to serve the community and make our lives better as a result. Liz is a role model for all of us to emulate, learn from, involve ourselves in similar type community activities. And as Liz always professes, the cause, program, and people in the community and all Napa come first. There is no me first in anything Liz sets her talents towards. Liz is a true leader in that Napa needs more of in the future.
Wow.
Thanks, Liz.
Aw.
thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Harris. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. You're a true inspiration. Just really appreciate all you've done, and thank you for being a guest on this show. And
You'll give a hug. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Napa is so fortunate to have so many caring and wonderful people. And at the very top of that list is Liz. I could tell from the time she was a student of mine that this is a special woman. And, I was not wrong. I encourage you to get involved. There's so many things. Call Liz.
Yeah.
Go to the Volunteer Center. There's so many programs out there that need your help. Donate. Donate your time, or if you don't have time, donate money or items for packages, to the soldiers across, who are fighting to keep our country safe. I want to thank you for watching. And Liz, again, thank you so much
Harris,
for